Airline disaster have come new revelations of serious failures by the FAA. Perhaps none more frightening than the multitude of security lapses.
Asking grandma whether she's packed her own bag isn't security when whole perimeters of airports look like sieves.
1988, Lockerbie, Scotland. A terrorist bomb blows Pan Am Flight 103 out of the sky. The aftermath brought both recriminations and recommendations. Our government assured us airport security would be beefed up.
And if you had to.
Barry Schiff is a retired commercial pilot for a major airline who flew both Boeing 757s and Boeing 767s, the same kinds of jets involved in today's attack.
Pilots go in and out of the cockpit as they need to go to the restrooms. Coffee is brought to them, so the door is opening every once in a while anyway. And even if the cockpit door were locked and nobody were going in or out, it would not be difficult to threaten a flight attendant such that she would get the pilots to open the door because of fear for her life.
Though pilots are trained to handle hijackings, Schiff says historically they don't usually result in fatalities, much less the downing of an airliner.
In most cases, a hijacking is not a dangerous situation. Most hijackings are easily resolved. There's very little a pilot can do if an armed hijacker comes into the cockpit. In most cases, he'll believe that a hijacking is going to end peacefully. In most cases, they normally do. He would have no idea that his aircraft were going to be used as a missile.
Commercial pilots do have the ability to push a button to communicate to air traffic controllers that their plane has been hijacked. But apparently none of the pilots this morning even had a chance to send the signal.
If one had to speculate, I would say the terrorists were flying the aircraft, not the airline pilots who should have been flying the airplane. Mainly because I don't believe any airline pilot would intentionally fly into the World Trade Center, even with a gun at his head.
We may never know exactly what happened in the cockpits, but both the FAA and the airlines had to have known that something was terribly amiss, as each of the planes veered inexplicably off their flight paths. What you are looking at is the actual radar tracking of the two flights that left Boston's Logan Airport this morning. American flight number 11, shown here is the blue plane, takes off first. United Flight 175 takes off next. Both proceed west towards Los Angeles. They are fully fueled for a transcontinental trip. Then, somewhere near New York State, the planes abruptly change direction, now flying southeast to Ground Zero, the tip of Manhattan. American Flight 11 finds its target first, Tower number 1. 21 minutes later, American Flight 175, in red, flies south of Manhattan, then makes a sharp turn to the north, where its final chilling moments aloft were captured on videotape. Meanwhile, United Airlines Flight 93 leaves Newark Airport in New Jersey for San Francisco. The radar shows that somewhere near Cleveland, the plane makes a sudden U-turn, then disappears. It crashed in this field near Pittsburgh. Its final destination unknown, but experts suspect that it was likely headed to a target in Washington, D.C. The crew probably saved hundreds, maybe thousands of lives on the ground. Unfortunately, even their heroics will not be enough to save the aviation system upon which America relies so heavily.
A linchpin of our economy is our air transportation system. We can't do without it. It's not an accessory. As of today, that linchpin has been shut down.